Cherokee County, Georgia, place where families raise their children and neighbors wave from across the street. But behind closed doors, there are stories that remain hidden in the shadows. Stories that, when uncovered, shake the very foundation of what we think we know about the people around us. This is the disturbing story of Chloe Alexis Driver, a young mother who, on a quiet December evening in 2020, committed an act that would forever alter the lives of those involved. Chloe Alexis Driver was 24 years old and a mother to 13-month-old Hannah Nicole Driver. On the surface, Chloe seemed like any other young mom, devoted to her daughter and working to build a life. But behind that image, Chloe was struggling, deeply affected by a number of factors beyond her control. One of the most significant was her involvement in a polygamist cult led by her husband, along with other women who shared his belief system. Chloe's relationship with her husband was rooted in an extremist belief system that placed heavy demands on its members. Among these beliefs were bizarre practices, including the consumption of urine, which some believed to have healing properties. Chloe had long felt pressure and isolation due to this lifestyle. The cult-like group further deepened her mental and emotional distress, and Chloe began showing signs of severe mental health issues. By December 2020, Chloe was suffering from extreme psychological strain. Reports indicated that she had been struggling with paranoia, depression, and anxiety. Her mental state deteriorated under the pressure of the cult's influence and the demands of motherhood. That fateful night, Chloe snapped. On December 8, 2020, Chloe killed her daughter Hannah in their home. The exact sequence of events is unclear, but investigators believe that Chloe, consumed by mental health issues and possibly influenced by her surroundings, turned violently on the child. Chloe stabbed her 13-month-old daughter multiple times in a savage attack. Reports indicated that Hannah was found with multiple stab wounds, some of which were deeply severe. It was Chloe's husband who discovered the horrific scene. When he arrived at the home, he found his daughter's lifeless body. Desperate, he tried to save her, but it was already too late. Emergency services were called, but by the time they arrived, Hannah had passed away. Chloe, in a state of apparent distress and confusion, had also inflicted self-harm. She was rushed to the hospital with injuries that she claimed were inflicted by her own hand. Chloe was immediately arrested after her recovery at the hospital. The authorities charged her with malice murder, felony murder, cruelty to children, and aggravated assault. The investigation quickly revealed the details of the crime, but the question that haunted everyone was, what drove Chloe to kill her own child? During the investigation and trial, a disturbing picture of Chloe's mental health issues began to emerge. Experts testified that Chloe had been severely affected by the extreme religious practices and the mental and emotional toll they took on her. She had been isolated, her mental health deteriorating rapidly under the influence of the cult. Her involvement in the group and the extreme pressure she faced were deemed contributing factors to the violent act she committed. In 2022, Chloe's trial began. Her defense attorneys argued that she was suffering from severe mental illness at the time of the murder, claiming that her involvement in the cult had pushed her to a breaking point. They maintained that Chloe's mental state had made it impossible for her to understand the consequences of her actions. On the other hand, the prosecution presented the brutality of the crime as evidence that Chloe was aware of what she was doing, an action rooted in extreme violence and rage. The jury ultimately convicted Chloe Alexis Driver of first-degree murder and cruelty to children. However, they found her guilty but mentally ill, recognizing the significant role her deteriorating mental state played in her actions. On December 12, 2024, Chloe was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for 30 years. An additional 20 years was added due to the age of the victim, to be served concurrently. For Hannah's family, there can be no comfort, no words to undo the devastation of losing a child in such a horrific way. Chloe's sentencing was a bittersweet form of justice, but it did little to ease the pain of the loss. The case serves as a chilling reminder of the consequences of unchecked mental health issues and the profound effects of extreme belief systems. The case of Chloe Alexis Driver is a heartbreaking tragedy that raises important questions about mental health, cult influence, and the fragile nature of the human mind under extreme stress. If you or someone you know is experiencing mental health struggles, please reach out for help. There is always support available. Thank you for watching Nightmare Moment. If you found this story moving, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring more stories like this to light and keeps us connected to the dark truths we need to confront.